Just finish off my hot cross bun. Absolutely delicious. Hey guys, welcome back to episode 5 of Forest School at Home with me, your friendly neighbourhood Red Fox, here to share some Forest School joy. A big thank you to everyone who watched our last video, episode 4, and our Wild Garlic Adventures. Otto and I had a great time in the woods. I hope you got on board with it. I hope you managed to make some. I know some of you have. Some of you have posted your pictures, so thank you so much for that. We've really enjoyed looking at them, and the pasta that you made as well, so congratulations. Big thumbs up. As you may be aware, we are now on YouTube, so if you want to search us up and find the other 4 episodes that we've already filmed, head over to YouTube and type in Forest School at Home, and that will take you to the channel. So feel free to subscribe as well, and you'll get updates from when we post our videos in the future. This week I thought we'd have a little look at the humble
Stick! Stick, 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 sticky, sticky.
Yes, that's right. It is the humble stick. Now, I'm hopefully going to arm you guys today with some activities and projects that you can do to help while away those hours in lockdown. So, let's get our magic wands ready and let's get started. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. So our first activity today, guys, we're going to be making a sword. So you're going to need a couple of sticks, you're going to need some string, or if you haven't got string, an elastic band, and if necessary, if your sticks are a bit long, some pruning shears or some secateurs. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to cut your sticks to length. So one of your sticks can be longer, obviously, but we want a cross piece to go along the bottom, like so. So obviously this stick is too long. So these are some pruning shears or secateurs. A few safety tips when you're using these with children, that you obviously only use them when you're ready. Talk through the tool first with your children. Explain that this is obviously the danger area and that this part is where we put our hands. Okay, so we're not holding onto to the blades here. Okay, and then when we're actually ready to use it, they keep their hands well back from the blades, from the business end, and they make sure that the stick goes right to the back of the jaws here. So I usually say that it's like a dinosaur because it's got a little eye here, and that they want to chop through the wood but not your finger. So we're keeping our fingers right back here, and then they're confidently squeezing and chopping the stick. Okay, once we have our sticks cut to length, we're now going to need to cut some string to tie them together. So I've got just a bit of parcel string here. Now, the length that we're going to need to cut is probably a good idea to get it twice the length of your blade, your longest piece. So I'm just going to measure that now. So I've got one length, so I'm just going to slide the string up against the stick, up to there, and then I'm going to do another length, the length of the stick. It's a good idea to give yourself plenty of string. It's better to have more than less. So again, if we're going to be using the scissors with the children, okay, we're going to make sure that our hands are going onto the handle only. We're not touching the blade. And we're going to put the scissors through a little loop, make sure the string goes right to the back of the jaws, and then confidently snip through. Then put those away somewhere safe. And there's our string for our tying. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with a little knot called a clove hitch. This is going to be the securing knot to start our square lashing off. It gives us a nice anchor to start our tying. So we're going to start with a loop. Okay, so we've got our static end in my left hand and the moving part we're going to be moving in my right hand. So I'm going to make a little loop like so. So I've passed the moving end over the static end like that. I'm just going to grip it with my thumb and my finger to keep it in place. So I've put this part over this part like so, give it a little squeeze, and then I'm going to make another loop exactly the same over again. So I've got a pair of loops now. Now the second loop that we made, I'm going to pass under the first loop like that. So there's my first loop, there's my second loop. I'm going to pass my right hand under my left hand like so, and then I'm going to pinch those two together like that. That's what you should be looking for, okay? So we're passing this first loop that we made. The second loop is going to go underneath, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use the cross piece. Doesn't matter which piece you start with. I'm going to use the cross piece today. We're going to pass that loop into both loops that we made, and then pull them tight. Okay, and then once you put them tight, it should look a little something like that. That's a loose tie there. I need to tighten that one up a little bit more, but you can see the basic shape of what it should look like. I pull that nice and tight, and that will grip onto our stick and act like an anchor. Okay, so that was our moving end there, and that's our static end. Okay, if you've got quite a length here, that doesn't matter. That helps us to tie it off when we finished our tying, so don't worry about that. Don't have to trim it yet. We can neaten it up afterwards. Okay, so there's the start of our square lashing. So we're going to take our clove hitch, okay, and then we're going to use the longest piece that we've still got here, and I'm just going to pass it over the top of the sword, like so. So it's over the top first, okay, and then under this cross piece, like so. There we go. And then we're going to go back over the sword again. So we've gone over the sword, under the cross piece, over the sword, and then under the cross piece on this side. And then lo and behold, we're going to go over the sword again. Each time you pass one of the sticks, make sure it's really tight, okay? The tighter it is, the stronger your lashing will be in the end, okay? So pull it nice and tight, like so. Go over the sword, under the cross piece. Over the sword, under the cross piece. Pull it nice and tight. Once more, make sure all the string is nice and tightly packed in together as well. Give it a squeeze, over the sword, under the cross piece. Now we're going to stop there, and that's the basis of our square lashing. It's quite aesthetically pleasing, isn't it? That's why I like this knot so much. We're just going to loop the string around all of that lashing that we've done, and that's going to pull everything nice and tight into each other and make a really nice secure lashing. So just a couple of times round again, really pull it tight, make sure it's nice and neat, like that. And then if you've got your static end here still, from when we did our first clove hitch, you can just quite simply tie both knots off, like so. There we go. And there you should have a nice, neat square lashing. And then these bits of string, we can just get our scissors again, remembering to keep our fingers well back from these loose pieces. Give them a little trim. 1 and 2. And there we go. A nice, neat looking sword. Don't worry if you haven't got any string to hand in your house. You can make do with an elastic band. Now, it's by no means as secure as the square lashing with the string, as I showed you previously, but it does do in a pinch, so I'm going to show you how to attach it. So make sure you've given yourself enough space in the handle here to put your hand on, and then I'm going to hold both pieces of the sword together with my thumb. The elastic band is going to get hooked onto one side of the sword, like that, and I'm going to pull it underneath the sword and over the other side, like so. So you can see we're going to start to build up, like with the cross lashing, we're going to start to build up loops around both under and over the sticks. That's the premise of it. So we're going to pull the elastic band nice and tight underneath, give ourselves plenty of elastic band to work with, and then we'll give it a little twist, like so. Put my thumb on that twist, keep it in place, and then go back over the handle, like so, and back up to the top. So our loop is now on top of the elastic band. Again, put it nice and tight to give yourself plenty of elastic band to use. I'm then going to give it another twist. Now normally I'd want to go up the elastic band to go all the way under to loop around these sticks, but I can't do that with this elastic band. So I've given it another little twist in that top loop, put it nice and tight, and then go back round the handle, and then give it another little twist, like so. Now from that point, I'm going to go round these two cross pieces. So once around that side, and underneath, and round the other side, like that. So you can see I've got 2 loops now around these pieces here. And then I'm going to give it another tight pull, and you can see it's holding itself in place now quite successfully, like that. And give it another pull, another twist, go back round that handle and back up to the top. So now my loop's on top. Now there's not enough loop here to go back round the handle, so what I'm going to do is give it another little twist, and then I'm going to go to this side, and I'm just going to loop it round and just tie it around a couple of times just to get rid of the excess elastic band, like so, and just pull everything up so it looks nice and neat. We like nice neat knots, and there we go. Now you can obviously, if your stick's not level, you can just push it along like so, and obviously if you've not left enough room in your handle, you can slide this up and down, but it is pretty secure. It shouldn't slide too easily, and there you go, one elastic band tied sword. Lovely stuff. So there we have it, our stick sword is complete and we're ready to go and play. But why do we play with stick swords? Well, they are really good for understanding our bodies and our bodily awareness, and the awareness of the space around us as well. So we're thinking about how we can move safely, how we can play safely with these as well. So also we're developing our risky play strategies as well, and our risk management, where the children are starting to think about what does safe play look like with something like this. But also probably the biggest benefit of playing with a stick sword is the imagination and the role play development that can happen from playing with stick swords. This can transport you to a whole other kingdom. You could be a brave knight, or a warrior queen, or even a fairy with a grudge to settle. It doesn't matter where it takes you, but it's developing those imaginative role play scenarios at the same time. It's a really powerful thing. Okay guys, the next activity we're going to be doing is some tracking, and again we're going to be using our sticks. So, tracking, what actually is it? Well, put very simply, it's a way of following symbols made of sticks or stones or leaves in a particular direction to a particular point. And along that way, those symbols might be telling you to stop, or to look out for an obstacle, or to travel left or right, or straight forwards, or to turn back. For today's activity, I'm only going to show you 3 symbols, but you can go online and look up more symbols to use in your trails at home. The first symbol I'm going to show you is the arrow. Now the arrow consists of 3 sticks. We start with one stick, which is our directional stick, and we point that in the direction we're travelling. Now the problem with one stick on its own is that it has 2 ends which could point in either direction. So to understand which way we want to travel, we need to put a little roof on it. So we make a little triangle and we pop it on top. Now when we're doing this with the children, it's important to help them understand how to formulate this arrow. So to start with, we start with this first stick and I get them to point in the direction they want to travel, and that way they can line up the stick with their finger, like so. That way they can work out which way they want to travel. Then at the end of the stick, in the direction they're travelling, that's where they can put their little roof or their hat on top of their arrow, like so. When we're doing it at the nursery, it can get a little bit complicated. We quite often see a T shape for an arrow, and we quite often see a Y shape, especially if that child has been sat on the opposite side of us when we've been doing a demonstration. So it can get a little bit confusing, but with a bit of practice, they should be able to get there. So once you've got your arrow shape, then you can point it in different directions and figure out your child's understanding. So there's our first symbol, the arrow. Like so, just 2 sticks crossed over each other. Now this obviously means stop, no entry, don't go this way, and it's a good way of controlling the direction without having to use an arrow as well. So there's the cross, nice and simple. The next symbol I'm going to show you is the obstacle ahead, and it starts again with the arrow like I showed you before. So we're pointing in a particular direction, and then quite simply we need to put 2 sticks running parallel to each other over the bottom of our arrow. So this is the obstacle ahead. Now this means that there's going to be something ahead for the children to either climb over, balance on, climb underneath. So this is how you can make your trails a little bit more challenging and a bit more fun for your kids to navigate. So there we have it, our 3 symbols we're using today in our tracking activity. Now it's all well and good me showing you how they work, but it might be a better idea for you to follow one of our trails to see how a trail could look in your house. Are you ready? Let's go.
I don't know where Otto and Isaac are. Look, there's an arrow. Maybe we should follow them and see where it leads. Oh, another one. And another one. Let's go this way. Should I go this way or this way? Let's go this way. Another one. Let's follow. Do you know what this symbol means? That's right, it means obstacle ahead. Come on. Oh, well we can't go through here, there's an X. So let's follow the obstacle. Ooh. There's no arrows ahead, so let's just keep on going. Oh, well we can't go this way, let's go back. Oh, there's an arrow here. Let's go up the stairs. Look, there's an arrow here. Come on. Oh, well, we can't go in here. It's an X. Well, we can't go up the stairs either. Or in here. Oh, well. Look, there's an arrow. It might be in here. Come on. They're not in here. They're definitely not under the bed. Where are they? Do you know where Isaac is? Or where Otto is? There? There? Oh well, I guess I just won't find them. Surprise!
So thank goodness we found Isaac and Otto eventually hiding in Nancy's room. Phew, weren't they good at hiding? So here's our third and final activity, guys. We're going to be doing some stick stacking. So this is a nice quick activity to set up. All you need is plenty of sticks chopped to a similar length, and the challenge is to try and make a tower as tall as possible. So you can either work as a team or you can work individually, depending on how you want to play the game. But the idea is to try and get as high as possible. So they're working on fine motor skills here, they're working on their problem solving. For an extra challenge, you might even want to put something on top. I need to practice this because my tower was not very good. So there we have it, 3 stick activities for you to get your teeth stuck into. Now I know what some of you might be thinking.
We haven't got any sticks.
Don't worry if you haven't got any sticks to hand. You can make do with pens or pencils, or even if you want to do the tracking activity with pieces of paper and the symbols drawn on, absolutely fine. Plus, there's a bonus fine motor skill development practice there as well.
Winner, winner.
As always, please do post your pictures and videos of everything that you get up to. We would love to see them. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, don't forget, and we'll hopefully see you in the next video coming up very, very soon. So again, make sure you keep yourself safe, keep those hands washed, and I will see you next time. Red Fox, over and out.